Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Isabella Banks YouTube channel. It's your girl Weezy here, and baby, this week a lot has happened. A lot has happened, honestly. Some expected, some just reused content to keep them busy because they left behind in the UK, not giving them enough content to fill their media pages. But let's get into it because it's also very interesting. Okay, first off, we have Chrissy Teigen, who we learned is going to be on season 2 of With Love Meghan. Then you've got the Daily Mail who are walking back, they already walked back Sun's fake story about Harry and Meghan huddling, so called huddling with Brooklyn and Nicola Peltz Beckham. And then, what do you know? Ryan Reynolds, who should know better, is out here using Meghan's name for clout. I was feeling sorry for Ryan and Blake because of their court case against Justin Baldoni. But I think truly, Meghan and Harry and a few other people, I suppose, in the public place are a true barometer of a person's character. Once you tell me whether you like Harry and Meghan or not, it tells me exactly the kind of person that you are. What do you guys feel? Do you often have that conversation with your friends, family, acquaintances, or someone you don't even know, but you know of? And then once you hear their opinion, does it change your opinion of them when you hear what they might have said or think about Harry and Meghan? Let me know in the comment section what you think about Harry and Meghan being a barometer for checking a person's character. Because immediately I saw and heard what he had to say about Meghan, I completely changed my mind about him because I thought he was a nice guy. And only to see him punching at Harry and Meghan, and I thought to myself, what? Let me not say what I was thinking because I'm trying to remove swearing from my vocabulary altogether. Anyway, so yeah, Chrissy Teigen is about to pull up to Megan's podcast. No, she's about to pull up to Megan's show with Love Megan for season 2. And I think this is my opinion anyway. You might feel differently, but I feel like this is a match made in mixed marriage, millennial mogul heaven because they have a lot in common. They've both been dragged through the tabloid trenches. Both have podcasts. Did you guys know that Chrissy Teigen has a podcast now? It's called Self Conscious. I didn't know that myself until this bit of news came up. Both have mixed marriages, you know, and both are aspiring female founders. I don't know whether Chrissy has reached her targets, but she definitely is a businesswoman. And just like Megan, I love how Megan seeks out her tribe, and she maintains her relationship with her tribe online. There is words that Chrissy opened up about her alcohol relapse on her podcasts. She recently teased a section of it, indicating that she's going to be discussing that on the next episode of her podcast. And I thought, oh, if she's going to be coming onto Megan's show with Love Megan, that would be an interesting thing to talk about. That would be real talk, like a real challenge that they could actually break down because um, it feels like they would have more time to get into the personal issues while they're cooking. Like Chrissy Teigen could talk about the reason why she became an alcoholic. She could also talk about, what brought her to the point of deciding that she needed to get help so that she could stop being an alcoholic, and how being an alcoholic affected her marriage, motherhood, and her business, all of those things which um, Megan has as well. So she can, I mean, a lot of women are struggling with alcoholism, and they all have these challenges. So it's definitely something that people could resonate with. They could definitely key into this particular problem while they cook up herbal remedies to help anyone on their way out of being an alcoholic, and foods that promote sobriety. So, yeah, it is definitely a very chunky, weighty discussion to have. And I would love to hear it. I would love to hear it. That would be two women keeping it 100 about fame, family, and the fallout of it. Now, let's get into the media madness of the week. Apparently, Harry and Meghan hosted Brooklyn Beckham and Nicola Peltz Beckham. And I spoke about this in my last video. For some kind of reason, the media were calling it, well, news. They were calling news of them getting together in any kind of capacity a grievance gala. Can you imagine? How rude. Where they were saying that this is them getting to bond over being rich, misunderstood, and cut off from the family WhatsApp. Oh my goodness, how rude these media people are. Anyway, surprise, surprise, quelle surprise. The news was already walked back last week, but the Daily Mail has done a further walk back, because it turns out that the real host of the event was the Hollywood neighbor, the CEO of Paramount and Nickelodeon. Did you guys hear that before now? When I saw this, I was like, how could they have been so wrong? How could they have been so wrong? Like, I know that, like, it's tabloids, but you would think that they would make an effort to verify. But this is the whole point of the media standards battle that Harry is facing. They don't even take a moment to fast check. They're just in a hurry to get news out as quickly as possible so that they can claim that they have snagged an exclusive. Well, look at that. It turns out that it was the CEO of Paramount and Nickelodeon who was hosting the event. And it was not an emotional wine and wine fest for emotionally neglected celeb sons. There were 20 guests, a charcuterie board, and most probably people, it was a networking opportunity, I am guessing, for people who have engaged in some way or form with um, Paramount for work. Honestly, the story, I think, is still in flux because, according to the article, Harry and Meghan were flown in to attend the event. Whereas in the same article, they said that Harry and Meghan are neighbors to Brian and Tracy Robbins. So there remains a lot of contradiction in this latest version, but at least we're getting closer and closer to the truth. And I am guessing that they probably got calls from left, right, and center, because we're talking about a meeting, a gathering of wealthy, influential people, right? Brian and Tracy Robbins are not small potatoes. And then you've got Nicola Peltz Beckham, who is not small potatoes. Her father is a billionaire, even though he is MAGA. And then Brooklyn Beckham himself, like, he is on his way up. He's not minor by any stretch of the imagination, at least going by the fact that he comes from a legacy of David Beckham. So they must have been getting so many calls for them to be, they usually, when they have done a ridiculous story on Harry and Meghan that was full of lies, they usually walk it back anyway. But in this case, they are doing like a double walk back. That is my point. Like they're walking back the walk back with shaking hands, apparently. And if you ask me, as I said, it's a complete networking opportunity for Brooklyn. Probably an agent brought Brooklyn and Nicola along to the meeting in the hopes that they could get a guest spot on Meghan's show. Now, whether Harry and Meghan will work with them or not is a different matter, but it doesn't stop people from reaching out to them to find out whether they would be willing to take them on. Because everyone wants to work, everyone wants to get money. And even though Nicola's father is a billionaire, there is a limit to how much slack they would give Brooklyn, right? They would want him to work, and nobody would be trying to stop him from trying to work. So he has to find a way for himself. And he's not going to be able to, since he's had a clash with his father, he's not going to be able to rely on his father's connections. So, what's the next best thing? He would have to find a way for himself, no matter how it looks, you know? Anyway, so it looks like the story is getting clearer. Um, but and then they were trying to insinuate that Harry and Meghan were in a rush to explain. No, 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 no. We didn't invite them. I don't see that. I think that if Harry and Meghan invited them, they would not even rush to. Why do they have to explain to David and Victoria why they invited Brooklyn and Nicola? There's 1,001 reasons why they would invite them if they had to. And are they trying to imply that Harry and Meghan are scared of David and Victoria? Or are they trying to imply that they are scared of controversy? By this time in Harry and Meghan's life, they are used to controversy. So I don't think that's it at all. But I think it's also very telling that Harry and Meghan didn't even like publicly put out a statement about it at all, which means that it's just the usual run of the mill media talking their heads off without knowing anything about what was actually going on. So there is that. I just thought to mention it because I was amused at the fact that the media were walking back an already walked back story. That means that they're getting phone calls, letters, and what have you, trying to get them to get their facts straight. Anyway, and then comes Ryan Reynolds. Yes, Mr. Deadpool himself out here clowning Megan's homemade jam like he has never had jam himself. I was quite disappointed, as I said earlier, because he's got a wife, and so he knows how hard it is out here, and they've had a rough couple of months, so they know how the media operate. But that was until I actually started. I did a very slight back, did some very slight research on him, and then I remembered. Oh yes, there he has, at least to my knowledge, just with a very light search on him, I can see he's got two good reasons to want to do this. First of all, he must be looking for a way to clean up his own PR following his issue with Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni and all the mess. They've still not been able to clean that up. They're still looking crazy out here in the streets, and they've made it worse, in my opinion, by dunking on Meghan. Now, where I was giving them the benefit of doubt before, they have completely lost me there. And then the second thing is that Ryan owns a football team in the UK. So he's going to want to be on the good side of those people who are against Harry and Meghan. So they've been able to get to him, basically, is what I mean. So yeah, unfortunately, Meghan is in a situation where her name, Meghan Markle, is hate bait. It as soon as you mention her name in any way, shape, or form, no matter how briefly, people who are looking for recognition, they're looking for the lights to shine on them suddenly know that all they have to do is to mention her name and they get instant press coverage where people may not have paid attention to them before now. I didn't expect him to use this kind of trick, but he must be pretty desperate for him to have done so. And that's me still giving him credit for being a reasonable human being because I just thought he was bigger than that and a nicer person than that. But, I may be wrong, but Meghan Markle, the phrase Meghan Markle, because we all know that her name is Meghan Sussex, right? But as I explained in my last video, um, the media insist on calling her Meghan Markle because that's what people search for. And so anyone who is looking to clout chase, they use the phrase Meghan Markle because they know that they're going to get immediate attention. It is, should I say, the clickbait crack of media. That phrase, Meghan Markle, is the clickbait crack of media. That's what it is. Well, let's talk. Let me play you a little of what he said.
Truth. So I don't know why. But he got out of copping and then became a food broker, which we're like, come on, that's what? CIA, right? Yes. And he's like, no, I'm a middleman for jars of jam. and tiny yogurts. What? He works for Meghan Markle. Yes.
Really tiny jams, harvestable jams.
Yes, exactly.
Made from the oils of Montecito.
If Jimbo Reynolds wasn't dead, I would say he is Meghan Markle. Adjacent.
Look at that. So childish, so schoolboyish. Meghan had nothing to do with their conversation. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. But somehow, because they wanted to attract attention to whatever rubbish it is that they were talking about, they had to insert her name into the conversation. Meghan Markle is just $1 million name. That name, I hope she has trademarked it and reserved it, because if she doesn't, then these nefarious, anyway, let me not give people ideas. Thank you very much, Kevin, for your donation. Nicole reminds Victoria how old she is and how her looks have faded. That's for someone as I feel like there's something deeper at play, and it might have to do with the fact that Brooklyn, I don't know whether he did well at school, but he doesn't seem to have majored or mastered anything, like gotten a job on the back of his own efforts. It seems like growing up with rich parents kind of took away that motivation. So what we're seeing is a Nepo baby on steroids, and maybe the struggle is, I'm just assuming, but from what I'm seeing, like he's not really been able to be consistent with anything. But then again, I am going by the news articles, right? So I don't even really know. So let me even shut my mouth and just continue doing what I was doing, saying this. But if that is true, then Victoria is very shallow for that. And that's just quite unfortunate. Did she never think that her children would get married? Well, if they thought they were going to get married, did she think that they were going to marry men as well? Obviously, other women were going to come into the family. So she should have been preparing herself mentally for that. And maybe she's so used to being, I think also, maybe she's so used to being like the star in the environment. So having the first woman coming in after her daughter, that is, must have been maybe challenging for her, because I often see that dynamic with women. When they're the only female in a place for a long time and another woman comes into the mix, they find it so difficult to adjust because they feel jealous that people's attention is going to the newcomer. They don't want to share attention at all. So that's also perhaps part of the problem. Well, that's her own problem to fix. She is the matriarch of the family. She should be the one showing Nicola the ropes, you know. And maybe also she's not able to boss her about because Nicola comes from a wealthy family as well. You know, she might even have more reach than Victoria at this point because of her father. And that's probably also intimidating to Victoria because, you know, Victoria, regardless of how you want to look at her, she's still from a wealthy environment, wealthy marriage, wealthy in her own right as well. She has a great brand, Victoria Beckham brand, for her music, for her clothing brand as well. So um to have a young girl who is coming into the her family who is richer than her, that must have been a bit challenging because she can't talk to her crazy, she can't behave any kind of way, she has to be respectful. And if she is strong-headed, that would be a challenge for her. And you can't be a child of one of those kind of people and then be a weak person. So Nicola herself must be a strong person for her to, I don't know, those are rich people's problems, not mine. As Nigerian people will say, Naden Sabi, that's their problem. I don't care. That's, but I can certainly sit here and break down the dynamics. It would seem relatively straightforward to me. Um, What did the Sun have to say about all of this? No. What did the Sun? Oh, so okay. So, just switching gears a little bit. The Sun, just like the Sun, were trying to drag Meghan into Victoria Beckham and David Beckham's issue with their children. The same Sun has tried to drag Prince Harry's name into P. Diddy's legal mess. You guys remember the first article? Was it this year or last year when they were when they put a photograph in the newspaper and cropping William out of the photograph? Well, Prince Harry challenged them about this. It was in his court documents when he had the case against them. And so the Sun says, I will read you an excerpt. I think that's just the easiest thing. I was trying to summarize it so I don't keep you here for too long because I'm coming up to my time limit, but let's just do a quick one. So, the Sun newspaper says the Prince Harry accused UK tabloid The Sun of pursuing a vendetta against him after he published a story saying accurately, okay, this is from the Daily Beast, right? That he had been named in Sean Combs's sex trafficking lawsuit. Oh, I should have said S trafficking. Oh my God. YouTube, don't strike the video down. Harry claimed that The Sun, part of Rupert Murdoch's own newspapers, said that The Sun had published a large number of false and highly derogatory articles in retaliation for his claims of phone hacking and unlawful information gathering. Harry settled with The Sun earlier this year after the paper issued a full apology and admitted to having wrongly harassed him and his late mother. His complaint about the Diddy story formed part of his case, details of which were released to the media after an application by the UK's Guardian newspaper. Harry said the articles had a hugely negative impact on his mental health and that of his wife and children. NGN denied it was motivated by revenge, saying The Sun publishes stories about the Duke of Sussex which are justified because of the role he holds and the actions he has taken. My question is, which role? Harry is no longer a working royal, so which role? Anyway, we all know it is justification for the smear campaign. But yeah, this is what they had to say. So apparently, when Prince Harry was fighting the lawsuit against the Sun last year, he also mentioned the fact that the Sun had written that story about um, him attending P. Diddy's party, which had been mentioned in um, his S trafficking lawsuit. And all I have to say is, just like this person on Twitter said, it's very interesting that William is not mentioned in this piece. He and Harry met P. Diddy together only the once after the after party in 2007. They'd organized the concert to celebrate Diana's life. Pics of both princes with Diddy and Kanye at that party are easy to find. And I tell you what, I am going to post my all the photographs I can find about that on my community post. If you guys would love to post those photographs on your pages as well, that would be absolutely freaking fantastic, because I think it's just irritating the way these people try to rewrite history before our very eyes. So they didn't succeed when they tried this the other time. They have brought it back in a bid to try and see if they can make it stick this time. But we're so distracted with so many stories that we're fighting right now that this one may go without challenge if we don't do something. So I am going to post the photographs of that include William on my community page after this live stream. And if you would like to post them on your pages or your um on your fake pages, that would be fantastic as well. So we can see the strategy that the media are employing at the moment. They want to wear Harry and Meghan down until they fade like a Netflix show that didn't get a season two. Like they're trying to do an Edward and Sophie on them. They're trying to ruin their reputations without they're trying to ruin their reputations so that nobody wants to work with them. But if they think the squad is going to sit quietly while the press rewrites the narrative like it's fan fiction, they have another thing coming. We have screenshots, timelines, and memory like an elephant, and the stamina of a caffeine filled toddler. Honestly, you guys who are in the chats who watch our videos have no idea. You need to come on Twitter one day just to see what happens when something pops off. Like the squad goes absolutely crazy. The media did not see us coming. They don't know how to handle us when we go into a rage. And that's exactly the way I would describe it. When we go into a rage about something, they all start hiding, locking their Twitter pages down because the comment section are completely ruined on their pages. Anyway, but this is the reason why my commitment to ensuring that we're able to push towards a UN petition against the media and online bullying continues behind the scenes. But I need you guys' help, honestly. And I'm going to be talking to my members sometime this week or next week. I will let you know. I will put up a notice on my community post to let you know when the meeting is going to be, because we need to talk about where we are and the next steps that I'm going to be taking. But first things first, in order for you guys to assist, we need first of all to get ourselves to 10K subscribers. Thank you to all the people who have subscribed. But for those people who have been watching and who have not yet subscribed, can you do me a favor? Just check and see whether you're actually subscribed. You might not be, you might think you have actually subscribed, but go ahead, check and see whether you have subscribed, because we need to get to 10K subscribers so that we can collaborate with the UK charities that focus on media harassment and online bullying. They say they only collaborate with channels that have over 10K subs. And we're going to need more than one voice in order for us to do this work, to continue with the campaign. The other thing is researching, attending legal consultations, reporting to move this mission forward is going to take money. Yes, that evil word, money. I know we don't like talking about money, but this is the reason why I thought, okay, if I spread it around and make it lighter on everybody, perhaps we can get behind the mission. So I thought if 1,000 people could subscribe to my channel at $4.99 each, we could propel this mission forward at an exponential speed. Unfortunately, so far, I've only had about 16 people as part of my channel members. It's nowhere close to the target, which has kind of stalled my activities because the mission needs money. So, this is why I am asking if you can join my membership, even if it's just for a couple of months, go ahead and join the channel membership. The link to my channel membership is in the description box and is also in the chat as well. and oh, and the last thing I need is 1,000 Instagram followers. This is going to boost our ability to influence the undecided opinions and rally more supporters to our cause. Guys, let's not be, let us not just be passive. Let us do something. So join the movement and let's make history together. Kevin says, what's the deal with UK families not wanting their sons to leave their house and form their own families? I don't know. I don't know why it even makes sense for them to want to write this kind of thing. Because even if they're just doing it because of Harry and the older sons uh, from wealthy families, it is a negative thought to imagine that you want to continue to infantilize your grown-up male children. Like I have never asked, this is a new one for me. I don't understand why they are trying to do that at all. And if people are doing that, it is the completely is a complete wrong thing. Um okay, so before we move on, let me just have a look at your comments so I can respond to the questions that you've asked there. Um, I look at Ryan Reynolds with new eyes. Used to like him, not now. He is the worst clout chaser. Me too. He has. I'm completely turned off. Yep. Uh, if Megan's name draws a lot of hate, and it is. They call it the crack of clickbait media right now. Ryan don't understand why he would speak on Megan. He doesn't even know her. As I said, I think I can see him trying to clean up his own image, and then, otherwise, why is he even going to a podcast? He is trying to use her the way other people they see Megan as an easy target now. So they just dump on her because her name instantly draws attention to whatever it is that they're doing. Quite unfortunately. Quite unfortunately. Uh, and Ryan and his wife are feuding with Taylor Swift. Well, I can only say that the Swifties are like the beehive. They're going to lose. Kevin, okay. And Brooklyn's problem is that every time he does something, they say he got there through his parents. He's a very good photographer and a chef. Oh, yeah, I've seen that he's been involved with photography and uh, being a chef. Well, fingers crossed he's able to get himself together. Even if there weren't anything, even if there wasn't a feud, just the fact that he is a grown-up man requires him to stand on his feet. And then he's married also into a wealthy family. Double need to stand on his feet. And then he's feuding with his family. Triple need to stand on his feet. So yeah, the needs are many. I hope and pray for him that he finds a source of income that keeps him grounded. Um, Maybe she's like my late ex-mother-in-law. She had to be one, two, three, four, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 in her sons' lives. Result impossible and irresponsible sons. Divorce was an expected result. Absolutely. Absolutely. Because who wants to continue with that? Who wants to put up with that rubbish? Ugh, in this day and age as well. Even in countries where that are a lot more traditional, you know, even where the customs are a lot more traditional, like Nigeria, African countries where the parents are revered, so the mother-in-law is revered. She still should know her boundaries. The millennials don't. They don't. Gen Z, they don't play. They will just tell you straight up, "Mama, please sit, take a seat, okay." um. Donna says, Prince Henry, those of us who are saying no, the Diddy story is effing bullshit. No worries from America. We already know what the F trash peoples have done to you and your family. Okay. Queen E says, Brian, better be careful how he uses Meghan's name. If you don't want to smoke, if you don't want the smoke, he has. I think he's limiting his comments right now because the squad have gone crazy on him. And YD Lane says, so I saw a comment that I wanted to respond to. You were asking why I didn't collaborate with other channels. Mm, why don't you collaborate with other Sussex content creators? Together, you can definitely go over the 10,000 needed. I have tried. I have tried to reach out to most of the channels, but I don't know whether my emails keep getting stuck in the pile of emails they receive on a daily basis. But I hardly get a response from the YouTube channels on YouTube to collaborate. Um, I think everyone is also very worried about really getting into the activism work that adds to it. So I have had no choice but to keep on pushing on my own, and it has slowed me down immensely. And this is the reason why I haven't really been able to give a lot of feedback to my channel members, because I've been trying to get to the 10K subs. But outside of that, we can also, if you know anyone, please send them my way. I am happy to talk to anyone and everyone about this, because we need to stop being passive and get and do something. And doing something does not require us to go protest on the street or expose ourselves to dangers. There are ways that we can go about this thing, which I have discovered, but it's gonna take a slightly larger group of people than I have with me right now. So if you haven't subscribed, subscribe. If you haven't joined my channel membership and you can afford to do so, please go ahead to do so, because this is the reason for it. And then if you haven't followed my Instagram page, go ahead, follow my Instagram page. The links are all here in the chat. Scroll up or go to the description box of this video and you will find all the information there. All right, guys, it's been a pleasure talking to you this lovely Saturday. That's all I have for this evening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of my updates. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, this is Weezy signing off. Peace. Thank you to my lovely moderators, Kalijen and Lorna. Thanks, you guys, for taking time out. All right, see you next time. Bye.